know what we do today, but don't necessarily know where we came from. From 4 to 1400. Living Social actually started as a consulting company in the Facebook application space in August of 2007, so I think it's actually 4 years gone. And we had all worked together in a previous company. We had seen the Facebook application platform being launched. We saw that as a huge opportunity to acquire users more effectively and cheaper than ever before in the history of the internet, and to build social applications based on the graph. And we supported ourselves by doing this consulting work, but at the same time had our own products. And the first one was Visual Bookshelf. Visual Bookshelf was a simple idea that you would collect the things that you cared about. Whether that was the books you're reading, the books you want to read, the books you have read. We generate, reviews you'd be able to share with your friends. It would go onto your Facebook feed. We went from books. We thought, well, not only books does this work in, we'll do movies, we'll do restaurants, we'll do my favorite beer. And we thought, here's our business model. We'll generate this amazing content, and we'll get tons of SEO, and we'll get tons of free traffic, and we'll all be rich. But then that didn't work. So then we thought, okay, well, why don't we go into the affiliate marketing space, and we'll do these buttons on our site, and if you click and you get over to Amazon and you buy the book, we'll get a rev share off that purchase. And we were in the highest tier of the Amazon affiliate program. But in reality, if the book is $10 and the affiliate fee is 8%, you're making 80 cents when a guy clicks this link. Again, not very exciting. So then we said, okay, fine, we're going to go to the marketing agencies and all of these big book publishers, these big marketing houses, and we're going to do targeted advertising to our community. We knew what you cared about. That was powerful. We saw we had the social graph information, so we knew who you were, who your friends were. We knew the things that you liked, and we knew that marketing and agencies would care about that. So we did these custom advertising deals. We built a targeted advertising platform where folks could come in and advertise to users. So if a new book was coming out, they could find other folks that like John Grisham and advertise a new book. But that wasn't scalable either. That was a 3-4 month sales cycle. That was budgets that were small for the online space, and the offline marketing was really high. So we continued to search for more and more revenue. And how do we turn something into something big? A few months later, we built this application. It looks really simple. The idea was that let's take our entire product and turn it into one page. The idea was pick 5 things that you care about. So it could have been movies, it could have been books, it could have been video games. In this case, it was songs. Pick my 5 favorite songs. What would happen is the 5 pictures of the things you pick would go into your Facebook feed. Your friends would see it, they would click, they'd then do it themselves. People started getting excited about this, and then we started adding new categories. We added books and movies and video games and countries and cereals, and we became the #1 Facebook application. 0 to 35 million users in 3 weeks. Fastest organic growth ever on the Facebook platform. 200 million hits a day, almost 6 billion hits a month with a team of 4 engineers. But again, all we had was traffic and we had no revenue, so what should we do? So we went back to the same idea. We were Coca-Cola's first social media ad spend, and they skinned the Pick Your 5. Then we did Green Day, we did American Idol, we did Target, we did National Geographic, and then we did Britney Spears, and I was like, guys, we gotta think of something else. So then these guys came along. Does everyone know who these are? This is Farmville. The guys at Zynga beat us. They got to #1, they beat us in traffic, and they had this really cool thing called paying customers. So the customers would actually users would go to the site, they put in a credit card, they'd spend money on something. We didn't have that. It was something we were continually searching for. Right? So Steve Blank, 4 Steps to the Epiphany, a great book, says it started as a search for a scalable, repeatable business model. We did not have a scalable, repeatable business model. We continually hit these plateaus, and every new plateau was better than the last, but we couldn't turn $1 million a month in revenue into $10 million. We had no path to do that, so we just kept looking. We had 80 million users, but we didn't think that was a success. We needed a new idea. So then we bought this company called Buy Your Friend a Drink, which was a really silly name, but the general idea was it did the first kind of idea of online to offline commerce. We had this huge community online that we knew kind of the beers they liked or the drinks they liked or where they lived, and we worked with local or national advertisers in the beer, wine, and spirits space, and we got them to go from online to go to the local bar, to walk in with a voucher and sample a new drink that Bacardi was trying to launch. Right? It was one of the first examples of kind of getting people to go do stuff in the real world, which, by the way, Living Social, that was always part of the dream. Social graph, getting to do stuff. We got a local sales team out of it, 3 markets, 3 people, Boston, New York, DC. And what these guys did was they went to a bar and they talked to the owner and they'd sit down and they'd talk about how we could drive users into their bar. Then they walk past a restaurant. And then they go to another bar and they walk past a spa. So we wanted to figure out how to take this a step further and really hit the whole market. We built the first version of our social commerce app in about a week. So this part was pretty easy. And we launched it. I think we sold Zengo, which is a local sushi place here in town. We sold about 53 vouchers. I think I bought 10, I think 10 bought 20, I think my wife bought a few. But whatever, we proved that there was something interesting here. And this was an interesting fact we found really early on. Forrester Research, 2009, only 6% of retail commerce was online. That meant this was a really, really big space. I even still now find this hard to believe. But the thing we're trying to solve is these local merchants. So the first problem in the social commerce space is you have two things to go after. You have these local merchants. You have to find out how to attract them and work with them and bring them into your business. And these are the people that the e-commerce really hasn't helped yet. And we always believe that a field sales team would win. So we need to figure out how to get people on the street in hundreds of cities across the US all at the same time to reach tens of thousands of merchants every day. The other piece as well is the user acquisition piece, which I'll get into in a minute. So city by city, how did we scale? We had to get the merchants. We started in DC, we went to New York, we went to Boston, we slowly ramped up, and then we did it kind of city by city. We had some success in DC, then we went to New York, etc. Then we changed our story. In fact, we wrote about us about a year ago about our strategy to hire. We really had to innovate to find people on the street in all these countries. The idea was kind of crazy at the time and somewhat risky, but we would interview people all week long. We'd have phone screens, multiple phone screens, culture interviews, then we'd fly them all here. So we'd fly in 100 people a week to our office, interview them, just like American Idol, the thing we did before, send half of them home by lunch. Now we hire 60 to 70 people a day. The other piece, user acquisition. How do you get new members? How do you get new users into your system? We knew kind of how to do this. We've been in the social space for a while. We had built viral applications before. But the important thing to do here and to tell guys like Don is if we could figure out how to get NRP positive in some time frame, then we could go raise money. And then we could take that money and pour it back into the system. The same thing that Zynga did when they beat us in the application ranks. They had paying customers and they took that money and they reinvested it back in the business. That's what we wanted to do. How do we pour more gas in that fire? We did that. We've raised about over $600 million in the past couple of years from some really awesome people. We're really happy to have them involved. And this is what helps us sort of pour more gas in that fire. We have the quickest market growth of anyone in the space, meaning number of markets launched across the world. Quickest revenue growth as well in our first 20 months, like that, the same with our market growth. And how did we get here? So I'm going to talk about some of the ways and then talk about some of the lessons we've learned. I think this is an important lesson that not a lot of people realize, is that you only see 10%. The business is kind of like an iceberg. The consumer experience part, the apps that you use every day are on top, and how do we run and scale the organization is everything underneath. You know, it's a lot of proprietary internal tools that my team builds to sort of support the entire production team, the customer care team, the merchant relations team, the sales team. We build proprietary tools even for our mobile sales force, applications on iPads, things that we distribute to our full team to help merchants walk through the flow, talk about sample deals, talk about sample things that work well in other cities or in their own town. You know, going through the full contract process, signing electronically, forwarding that data into our system. How do we optimize this? How do we scale this business? A lot of that's technology. You know, second thing, we build a really amazing world-class team. We're about 1,500 people now, about 15 countries around the world, the largest field sales team in the space. Really strong culture. I think, you know, the four co-founders feel really strongly. The original name of the company is Hungry Machine, still is our parent company. Being hungry is waking up in the morning and being in the shower and thinking about the awesome thing you're going to do today. You know, the other important thing that I think we realized early on was that this was not daily coupons, this was not just email, this was how do you actually solve local commerce. And to solve local commerce, you actually had to innovate in the space. You not only had to out-execute and out-scale, you actually had to out-innovate. So we started to do that. We had a really successful bed and breakfast deal early on in our product, and then we later on spun out an entire vertical called Living Social Escapes. It's essentially a weekend in a box. I look amazing when I buy one, and my wife sees it. It's a bed and breakfast, it's a dinner, it's a wine tour in the morning, it's a farmer's market the next day. It's an entire package, editorially cultivated by our team to let you escape. Largest flash travel site in its first week that we built, doing exceptionally well right now. You know, our strategic deals, our relationship with Amazon helped us do this. This was the day that we sold an Amazon gift card on our site, essentially selling cash for less cash. Most people bought it. We sold 1.5 million of these things in a day. We don't have any proof, but we believe this is the most sold item on the history of the internet in a single day. We haven't found anything that disproves that. The Amazon deal, according to a Goldman Sachs report, was 6% of all e-commerce on that day. Another product we launched recently is Living Social Adventure. So this takes the cultivation to a totally new level. This is actually not someone else's bed and breakfast. This is an event that we define, we decide, we create, we operate, we host, we run. One that we ran recently here in DC and we've scaled out across the country is Canadian for a night. A is in the title. We rent out a nice skating rink. We get a professional curling instructor. We serve people poutine. We serve Molson beer, and it's Celine Dion playing in the background. We throw a party. The thing that we have, which is why we can solve local commerce and not just send out emails, is that we have this massive megaphone in every city in the country, and we have amazing relationships with merchants. So if we can take all those customers and connect them with those merchants in ways they didn't expect, that's an interesting opportunity, especially when everyone involved is happy again. Living Social Instant, something we launched recently. This takes it to a real-time experience. I'm walking down the street, I'm walking out of my office late, on the way home, and I want to stop at a bar with some friends. Where do I go? You pull out a app and it tells you where to go. Imagine California Tortilla and Chipotle being across the street. Those two companies should fight for you to walk into one of their doors. This is the future of that. This is really exciting.